you need to know about more specifically, I'll cut back in. Right now, we're going to continue with our Facebook Live coverage. Have a good evening. He had just gotten back from break, and I was hoping we were going to be able to continue going there.
Okay. Well, I'll be back in the chair.
Okay, thank you. That's fine. Thank you, Kim. Crud. Oh, so there's the watch. Okay. Till 3 a.m. Okay, thank you very much. We are continuing to be live. We'll try to get that back up into our programming here and get us back online. Thank you so much. We are looking at strong to severe thunderstorms. Severe thunderstorm watch has been issued until 3 a.m., and that is in place for much of Knox County. So I'm going to be loading that up. We'll try to get you back up, and then we can see that all together here momentarily. And if Chris, our digital producer, is watching, if you'll please come back here so we can make sure we're all set, and we'll go from there. In one moment for our Facebook Live viewers, if you're seeing this online, I cannot see you, etc., but give me one moment, and we'll get that up for you. Again, this is a brand new severe thunderstorm watch. It has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center eventually until 3 a.m. is this particular watch that's just now been issued until 3 a.m. So let me go ahead and update a few of our particulars. It's until 2 a.m. Central Time, and it is until 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that is what we're looking at, and you'll see that updated just a moment here graphically. Okay, are we up, Chris? Thank you. I don't see us in there. Can we see? Hey, Kevin, can you cut on the monitor for camera 7 so we can see? Perfect. So we're still live, right? Okay, perfect. Chris, Kevin, can you cut on the monitor so I can see us?
Yeah, well,
Thank you, man.
the monitor's on, it's just nothing.
Oh, nothing's being routed in? Okay, they're working on that. Okay, Facebook Live viewers, momentarily, we'll show you this momentarily. I think you're seeing the output. I don't believe you see me. If you do, hello, how are you doing? We were getting things set up here. Until 3 a.m., severe thunderstorm watch has just been issued, so yeah, we'll kind of walk through the maps. Thank you for joining us. These storms that have been popping up very quickly. So here's a look at the broad picture again for our Facebook Live viewers. Quick side note, this is a total side note, I'm not able to check my personal Facebook messages due to a Facebook login issue that Tegna is working on our behalf. We hope to have that done soon. There we go, we're all up live, so now I can hear you, you can see me. So bear with us. We'll, for any messages, I'll have to have those relayed to me a different way on Facebook. So right now it'll be a one-way street. Again, I trust that you're having a good, safe night, and I'll see if we can't have messages, your questions, excuse me, relayed to me another way. Just a total side note there. They're working on it behind the scenes. We hope to have that done soon on Facebook as far as that authentication being resolved. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Severe thunderstorm watch, it has been issued until 3 a.m. It does include northern Alabama, southwestern middle Tennessee. That's the broad watch area. That means severe weather is possible in and close to the watch area. Individual severe thunderstorm warnings are embedded within this watch, and we'll go ahead and zoom on in right now and take a closer look at that. Here's what we're looking at. Again, as you can see, we do have several individual severe thunderstorm warnings, including North Knox, Dandridge. A brand new severe thunderstorm warning was just issued, so I'm going to go to that storm coming up right now in just a second. Let me hop on over there. Again, there is the watch until 3 a.m. tonight. It basically includes pretty much all of East Tennessee. Does not include Fentress County, does not include Southeast Kentucky, but it basically includes the rest of East Tennessee. So let's go right to our warnings that we have just been issued. And the latest is the one for Dandridge that will be in place until 8:45. Granger, Hamlin, Jefferson, Knox counties, including Dandridge, Jefferson City, New Market, and Strawberry Plains. And again, we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. These have shown signs of several things going on, of some rotation, but 60-mile-per-hour winds plus are possible. Penny-sized hail possible. Let me give you the very latest as far as on this particular storm. Is again several of these storm warnings being issued, and here's what we're looking at. Again, the one for Knox, Jefferson, Granger, Union, and severe, and actually that is in effect until 9:15. We'll see if our system, there it is right there. Okay, so that's the one. Again, it was showing a different one, so let me make sure it's just showing the one that we're highlighting right here. This is the one until 9:15 right here. Again, for portions of our region, and a severe thunderstorm located near Plainview or 8 miles south of Maynardville will continue to move east at 20 miles per hour, and we have seen some signs of rotation with this storm. 60-mile-per-hour gust, quarter-size hail possible. So I'm going to go ahead and slide on over and widen out with this particular storm. Broad rotation indicated between Jefferson City and Dandridge, which is typical of a lot of severe storms. But here's what we're looking at. The storm north of Corryton, again, we got 3 different warnings going on here. Corryton, I mentioned this a moment ago, some hail possible, some rotation in Gibbs area. You have quarter-size hail that's possible in Corryton right now, so you certainly want to take cover with this particular storm across northeast Knox County. Again, indications are now just east of Tazewell Pike, Corryton heading toward Blaine, maybe Plainview, moving east at 20, Skagston. So far northeast Knox County from Corryton toward Blaine, northeast Knox, Granger County heads up. This storm will continue to track fairly quickly, but also it has the potential for some large hail and severe thunderstorm winds. That's what we're looking at right there. The velocity on this particular storm, again, could have some damage and winds. Looks like it's basically, this storm may be in the process of collapsing a little bit, but some large hail is possible, and particularly just to the south of Skagston and near Corryton, where we're seeing the potential for some of those stronger winds. There you see National Weather Service office and Alpha southwest of Morristown here. Got a real good vantage point at that particular storm that was moving up from Talbot and I should say New Market, Jefferson City, toward Talbot as well, toward Morristown, and also near Dandridge. There's a look at the latest radar view right there. So again, north of Dandridge, that's the storm. 8:45 is the particular warning. The other one in between here, sandwiched in between, it gets tricky because we have them all together. This is the one until 9:15 for Granger, Jefferson, Knox, and Union, including Blaine, Corryton, Mascot, and Skagston. Again, that's the storm with large hail possible around Corryton that's going to be moving toward Blaine. Let me take off the warnings momentarily just so you can get a little bit better vantage point. I'll take off lightning as well. Again, so Maynardville down over toward Luttrell, Corryton toward Blaine. That's one storm cluster of some strong to severe storms right here, and also Jefferson City, Dandridge toward White Pine. I'll zoom in a little bit more for that because you're watching on the monitor there, so you can hopefully see it a little bit better. Jefferson City, Dandridge, again, particularly in between Highway 92, Douglas Dam area, and continuing toward Bainbury and White Pine near the National Weather Service office and Alpha. Again, Doppler radar, there's the latest scan, continue to show that tracking off to the east at 20 miles per hour. And let me go ahead and just loop this over the last hour and take a look at what we're seeing, and I'm going to slow this down so I'll look at this together. Again, the main impacts with these storms are damage and wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. Some penny to quarter size hail, some large hail is certainly possible. The main impact is damage and wind gusts, potentially heavy rainfall. That is the definite other second impact, as the atmosphere has so much moisture in it. Our dew point today got up to 78 degrees in Knoxville, very, very humid conditions. And so with that, we are looking at that possibility of torrential rainfall, and even I would go ahead and say likelihood of torrential rainfall. Chris, thank you for being here. Any questions that folks want to know in general, I'll be glad to pass along. Again, I'm not able to monitor on my Facebook due to a technicality that Tegan is working on. So any questions, feel free. Powell? Yeah. Okay, yes. Let's see, let me go back and look at the Powell area. And we'll see if those particular storms. As far as Oak Ridge, southward to Farragut, we are seeing these storms moving in. Right now, as far as the strength of those, don't have any warnings on those. If we get a warning, let me double check that particular mode is activated. Yes, it is. If you see a gray box pop up, that will be for a strong thunderstorm and possibility of some 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, maybe some penny-sized hail if you see a gray box. If you see a yellow box, that's severe thunderstorm warning. We have several of those, 3 of those in a row, again, from basically from Maynardville to Dandridge, all areas in between, and that will take us till 9:15. That's severe thunderstorm warning for yellow box. If you see a red box, that's a tornado warning, and we don't have any of those on the screen. So we're mainly looking at several clusters of strong to severe storms. So Chris, folks were asking about the Powell area, is that correct? Okay. Yeah. And Newport, okay. We'll check out, we'll do a whole scan for the region. We'll kind of reset and go through that right now. And as we do that, I'm going to get to an update from the National Weather Service on the one in Ray County. Let's see. Let me pull up the update here. We have a severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. The warning for Ray County is now canceled, but it still continues for portions of Meigs and McMinn counties, and that will continue until 9 p.m. Okay, different text organization here on their new products here. Until 9 p.m., 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail possible for Ray and Minn County. So that's the one storm we have to our south that we're looking at. Look how quickly these storms are blossoming. This is over the last 2 hours. So you can see we basically went from not anything, hardly at 6:45, then once we got past closer to 7, the storm really popped up first in North Knox County. Well, they were popping up also back on the plateau, and just like that, the storms, the lightning are really blossoming. Now, the main cold front is far back to our west. That's going to be moving through tomorrow morning. But until then, we're going to have a lot of high humidity and the chances for more showers and storms overnight. The greatest chance for severe storms looks like it's going to be on the front end. Our severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. Probably looking at the better chance between now and about maybe midnight to 1 a.m., maybe longer, but it's usually on the front end of that. That expiration time a lot of times, depending on where you're located, is for other areas downstream. But that's what we're looking at as far as the potential for more showers and storms tonight. And then we'll continue to see those tracking off to these. Brand new warning just coming in. You saw that probably pop up while I was talking about those other storms. So this isn't in place until 9:45. Let me zoom on in as tight as I can. This is south of Knoxville. This does include southwest Knox County. And let me describe this verbally, then I'll zoom on in because I know it's harder to see from back there. But we are looking at, again, this storm southwest near Carnes and Farragut, but the severe thunderstorm warning is in place for Granger, Jefferson, Knox, and that's incorrect. It's, let me move this further to this one. Here's the correct severe thunderstorm warning. This is in place for Blount, Knox, and Loudoun counties until 9:45. That includes Alcoa, Belmead, Benfield, and Eagleton Village, all of those in pretty much in Blount County right there. The other part of the storm is moving to Hardin Valley and Farragut. So heads up, Hardin Valley, Farragut. I'm gonna sample this storm in terms of velocity and the hail right now. Other storms, again, heads up for Dandridge, Jefferson City. We'll check on your storm in a moment. But from Oak Ridge, Hardin Valley, and Farragut, we are looking at this particular storm moving in. Let me go ahead and show you. We're going to kind of move up and down this line real quick here. The hail potential looks like Loudoun to Lenoir City. So along Highway, south of Highway 70, along Highway 321, it should go Loudoun and Lenoir City, Highway 72 as well, but 321 especially. going from Lenoir City to Friendsville. Heads up, they could have some large hail. It's approaching Interstate 75 right now between exits 81 and 72. So Buttermilk Road continuing, again, Highway 72 southward at exit 72, and again, Highway 321, Highway 70 coming out of Roane into Loudoun County, right on the Roane-Loudoun County line right now. So Lenoir City, Loudoun, heads up, you could have some large hail developing there. As far as the velocities go, maybe 60-mile-per-hour winds. Don't see any rotation or anything like that at the moment, but certainly some heavy rain and some stronger storms, potentially damaging winds, and some large hail possible coming into Lenoir City and Loudoun County. There's a look at more of the storms further south: Paint Rock, Loudoun, Philadelphia, north of Sweetwater, and north of Nauta. This is where we're looking at the other part of this storm that continues to track off to the east. So again, be prepared to move into your safe place fairly quickly, as that's the latest with this storm. Let me stop radar right there and give you the latest from the National Weather Service office in Morristown on this particular severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this is the latest severe thunderstorm warning, as mentioned, for Loudoun, southwest Knox, and Blount County until 9:45. Severe thunderstorm located near Loudoun, moving east at 30, 60-mile-per-hour gust and quarter-size hail. So that's the hail potential. Quarter-size hail between Loudoun and Lenoir City, 60-mile-per-hour gust or higher possible. The damaging winds, some large hail. Those are the two main threats with this storm. Lenoir City, Loudoun, near Philadelphia, Paint Rock, Farragut, Hardin Valley could have some hail and heavy rain, maybe some higher wind gust as well. You're just outside that warning, as well as Carnes. Oak Ridge, Solway, Carnes, there's a lot of lightning. So this could be another storm we're going to be watching develop. Again, other parts of Knox County, and we're coming back up to, for your area. The one in Dandridge, by the way, that severe thunderstorm warning has expired, and it looks like the storm is weakened. So now we have the warning until 9:15 for Granger, Jefferson, Knox, and Union. That doesn't still include Corryton, Strawberry Plains, Mascot, and Skagston, as well as up to Blaine in Jefferson County. So that's the warning until 9:15. Here's a look at the storm movement over the last hour, and you can see this storm tracking across North Knox County. There's the other storm, Jefferson City, Dandridge. Again, it had a warning with it earlier that has now expired. Let me make sure of that, because that was, well, let's see, yeah, that was in place, the one until 8:45. So that's expired on Q. And the other storm warning we have is still in place, and this is the particular one here, until 9:15. And as I mentioned, the other storm warning, severe thunderstorm warning for Blount, Knox, and Loudoun until 9:45. So those are some of the main storms that we're continuing to track. Let me widen out to the broader picture and show you what's happening with this right now. As far as the, again, those are three different warnings. Basically, northeast Knox into Granger County, Loudoun, Blount, southwest Knox, and Meigs and McMinn County. So those are the three main warnings. We have other storms elsewhere, including Oak Ridge, Carnes, and Hardin Valley. A lot of lightning with that storm, and more also back behind that. As far as the hail potential, and I'll zoom on in, if you can't see that, I'll just tell you verbally. I mentioned east of Corryton. That's a look at a cluster of maybe some nickel to quarter size hail possible between Corryton and everything updated now. Again, it's kind of backbone a little bit, but Corryton to Blaine heads up there. Also, we had that potential for quarter size hail between Loudoun and Lenoir City. And yeah, some larger hail, some of the larger hail showing up right now, potentially down toward Big Springs in southern sections of Meigs County. And I'll zoom on in right there. It doesn't show up, trust me. Database needs updating there, but Highway 58, southern portions of Meigs County, looking at that particular storm. Heads up Riceville and Athens, as this storm will continue to track off to the east. Some large hail possible in southern Meigs County. Looks like it's heading toward Riceville in general, between Calhoun and Athens, Riceville area, McMinn County. Just want to make sure you are aware and be prepared to move into your safe place. Again, as I widen back out, those are the latest on the storms, as these severe thunderstorms continuing to develop pretty quickly now. Damaging winds, as I mentioned, heavy rainfall are the primary threats. And if you're just tuning in, just issued a few moments ago a severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. This does include pretty much all of East Tennessee. Let me go back a half step or so. Regionally, this is where we're looking at this particular storm. I'll go back right here. And this does include northern Georgia as well as western North Carolina. So as the storms continue to propagate to the east, again, the main cold front is still well back to our west. These storms will continue to fire. So what you see now is not all there is. There's more storms that are continuing to develop and will develop. But basically, most of the threat of these storms, I think, are going to be between now and about midnight, maybe shortly thereafter. That 3 a.m. expiration time is probably for our neighbors to our south and east in Georgia and North Carolina. So may have that potential, though, for strong to severe storms at least until midnight, if not shortly thereafter. That's the expectation. So here is the broad picture, and there's a look at those particular warnings with the watch. Again, the watch until 3 a.m. Individual warnings will take us until 9:15 to 9:45. We do have an elevated slight risk for severe storms, a level 2 out of 5. Again, main threat, damage and wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, some large hail. The tornado threat is low. An isolated tornado, possible, brief, not likely. Again, most of the time, whenever we have damage and wind gusts, the main threat is severe thunderstorm winds. And the main threat, it's a severe thunderstorm watch, not a tornado watch. So that kind of gives you a clue of what the expectation is. Doesn't mean an isolated tornado or brief one can't, a quick spin up can't occur. It can, but the chances for that are relatively low. The primary risk are damage and wind gusts. And I'm saying that in light of the last 7 days. Yes, had 2 tornado reports in the last 7 days, going back to last week, well, actually last week and a half, I should say. Last week and a half, including Thursday, the prior week, that week tornado. So again, main threat, damage and wind gusts, heavy rainfall will also be a concern as these storms certainly have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere available to use. We have dew point temperatures right now. I'll kind of show you that real quick. Our current dew points are in the, I believe they're still in the upper 70s or at least mid 70s. 75 degree dew point in Knoxville, it was 78. 80 degree dew point showing up in Maynardville. 78 degree dew point showing up in Dandridge. So that's what we're looking at. And yeah, we've had that excessive heat around for much of today. Here's a look at our model forecast. Let me back it up and start with our 9 p.m. and we'll go hour by hour. So it's got a pretty good handle on it. 9 p.m. Then we're continuing to show between now and 10 p.m. strong to possible severe storms making their way through the region. And then there is, I think I skipped 11 p.m. Apologies. I'll add that in here. There is 11 p.m. Right there. Again, that kind of the next couple of hours, one of the main lines moving through. And then we're going to see, again, as we go closer to midnight, we've got generally just more of the scattered showers and storms. There's a look at that potential, again, more development. And now you see a lot on radar. Any one of these could be strong, but heavy rain's going to, I think we're going to be transitioning to that heavy rain threat as we go through the overnight. So that is certainly going to be a concern as we move through the overnight as well. So there's our 2 a.m. Again, that's still potential for heavier thunder showers. There's 3 a.m. And 4 a.m., a little bit of lessening. So that's why another reason that watch is in place until 3 a.m. Yeah, Chris? No, I do not have access to Facebook because of technicality of Facebook, and Tegna's working on that. So I'll need you to have the questions relayed to me. Thanks. Yeah.
Morristown, and why have we had so many severe storms recently?
A little bit louder. Sorry.
Why we have so many severe storms recently?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. One of the main reasons we've had some severe storms in general over the last week or so, we've had unseasonably strong upper level winds and a trough moving down into our region in the upper levels. And anytime in August you have high heat and humidity, a lot of instability in the atmosphere. And so you're going to have that potential for certainly some damage and wind gusts when you have a lot of high humidity, fuel for the storms, and you have a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere. You put those two together, and guess what? That's typically what you see in the spring. Our main severe weather season is in the spring, a secondary severe weather season in the fall. And this in August is unusual. But the fact that, here's what's going on. You normally don't see the jet stream dip down this far south. Usually the jet stream's further north in the summertime. So it's been coming down a little bit further south with some of its colder air and higher winds and energy in the atmosphere bumping up against the high heat and humidity. So that's one of the main reasons why we've been seeing so many storms in August. The upper level winds, the jet stream. We have a new warning just issued for northern sections of East Tennessee, including Hancock County, Claiborne County, Hawkins County in East Tennessee, and Lee County. It's this warning right here. In the center of it is Sneedville. I believe we're going to have 60 mile per hour winds and penny-size hail. Let's see if we can verify that for you. Quarter-size hail. So 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail possible in Hancock and Hawkins counties. So these storms, like the rest of other parts of East Tennessee, quickly blossoming. This storm is moving east at 25. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, the main potential with that, and continuing across northern areas. So that is the latest warning for that particular storm. And again, so we have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Hancock, Hawkins, also for Knox, Union, Granger, Jefferson, until 9:45, 9:15, excuse me, on that one, until 9:45 for Loudoun, Southwest Knox, and Blount counties. That includes Lenore City, Loudoun, over to Maryville and Friendsville, and also far southwestern Knox County. But heads up, again, as I mentioned earlier, Carnes, also coming out of Oak Ridge and Hardin Valley. And I'll zoom on in for folks watching in Powell. That storm moving in your area along Emory Road right now and continue to track across Clinton Highway, continuing Emory Road, and will be moving right along Emory Road through the Powell community shortly. A strengthening storm. I'll take a look at that in a moment. The other severe thunderstorm warning for southern McMinn County coming out of Meigs County. And again, that's what we're looking at as far as those particular storms. Let me refresh the screen. We have some new warnings coming in. Just a moment. And this will be for Greene, Hamblin, and Jefferson counties. So this will be an additional warning. Just popped up right here. So this is for Dandridge, Newport, southwest of Greenville. That was good timing. Somebody asked a moment ago, Chris, for Newport. Okay. And I haven't gotten to your area yet. I apologize, but you now have a severe thunderstorm warning. It's for eastern Jefferson, northwest Cock, west central Greene, south central Hamblin. And when we talk about east, west, that's a specific part of the county. It's not for the whole county. It's because they're tracking this specific storm that's moving into those areas. So here are the cities that are included in that. I'll do a storm track on that particular one in just a moment. But that will include Dandridge and Newport, also Bybee, Parrotsville, and White Pine will be included in that particular storm. Severe thunderstorm located in Bainbury or Dandridge, moving east at 25, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail. Those are the 2 main parameters that make a storm severe. 60-mile-per-hour winds are higher, quarter-size hail are larger. Anytime there's a possible tornado, that also makes it severe. This one does not. This is 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. That's what we're looking at on this particular storm. It's radar indicated. Again, hail size up to a quarter, winds up to 60 miles per hour. So again, just from the broader view, you can see how these storms are continuing to develop. The warning just expiring for McMinn County. Guess what I was just about to say? Not for long. Boom. There you go. Because looking at that storm, that's good timing. National Weather Service in Morristown. A lot of times when something expires, just wait a half second or two. If it's still strong, it'll be re-upped and reissued, and a lot of times they'll overlap. So that particular one is in a far part of our Channel 10 viewing area. It includes northern Bradley, parts of Meigs, Polk, McMinn. It does include Monroe counties, as you can see. So that storm, we're going to zoom on into the southern valley, as you can see from the bright red colors. This is the last 2 hours. Let me change some of these settings and clean up our radar a little bit. Show you just the last hour. This severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45. Again, Athens, Calhoun, Inglewood, and Etowah, eventually toward Tellico Plains. So let me stop the radar here. We're going to do some storm tracks so folks can know more specifically where you live. Definitely know your county and adjacent areas and cities you live near, because that's the one main way to be prepared. It is moving east at 45 miles per hour. So here's a look at this particular storm. Again, Charleston, Riceville, also Inglewood, Etowah, and continuing to track to the east. So be prepared to take cover with this particular storm. Go ahead, Chris. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oh, bless you. Hey, I can see Facebook. Side note. Thank you, Chris. Okay. Thank you, Evan. It's thunder and lightning in Bybee. Yep. Farragut, Karen Hensley. You got the storm that's continued to track them your area. Philadelphia, Lenore City, Farragut. The severe thunderstorm warning's technically just a hair south of Farragut, but it's close enough that you could have damaging winds in the Farragut area. 60-mile-per-hour winds, at least 50 to 60 possible in Farragut, and there may be some hail as well. Right now, it looks like it's below severe hail right now. had to say, but and also just sampling the winds. We get, as I mentioned, 50 to 60 mile per hour winds possible, Karen, in the Farragut area. In Corrington, we are getting smack, says Dawn. Yes, you are. My news director, Corey, has called me. Corey, I'll get right with you in just a moment, as we are continuing to monitor and track these thunderstorms as they're moving through the region. So again, let me try to get up to date on the rest of the folks who are asking. When is Maryville and Seymour get hit bad, says Evan. I'll do a Futurecast for you track in just a moment. Oak Ridge area, Todd, storm track, sure. Sorry about that. It's already just passed you. You probably would have wanted one a moment ago. Sorry, just now seeing that. Powell and Farragut, Friendsville, Louisville, and again, continue to track up into northeast Knox County, Strawberry Plains, Jefferson City, and continue to track off to the east. Mentioned Bainbury, White Pine, east of Dandridge. That's another severe thunderstorm. Again, any one of these severe storms has damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail possible. So that's what we're looking at right now as I take the lightning off. Sneedville, Hancock County, that we're continuing to see those storms tracking up into your region. And y'all can bear with me one moment as we multitask. As let's see. Yes, check on that later. Okay, more severe storms again that are tracking due south of Knoxville down toward Lenoir City to Maryville, and also McMinn County toward Tellico Plains. Let's see, try to see if there's any other questions I can get to. Chris, thank you very much for letting me see the Facebook feed. Douglas Dam, we mentioned your area, a lot of thunder and lightning, lightning and thunder. Lightning comes first and then thunder, just technical. But a lot of times they're happening both because storms are all over, no doubt. So that's what we're looking at for those storms into portions of Knox County. I do want to go and focus on Jefferson, Granger, southwestern Hamblin. We'll go ahead and check out this particular storm. And National Weather Service in Morristown we got multiple warnings going on all over. I see that right there. We'll go ahead and check that out. There is, some information from the Weather Service. Let me go ahead and read it right here and I'll get right to it. Severe thunderstorm located near New Market, just west of Jefferson City, and near Jefferson City, moving east at 25, 60 mile per hour, quarter-size hail possible. This particular storm got some broad rotation in it. Let me go ahead and loop that over the last hour. The default is too fast, so we slow it down. And again, we're just kind of sampling and looking at some of these storms together. You can look at it with me as well. The earlier storm around Corrington and near Blaine, it's kind of, these storms look like they're pulsing up and pulsing down, but they do have some broad rotation that we're seeing south of Corrington. Continue to watch that around Skagston to Blaine. So, heads up 11W, northeast Knox, up into Granger County. Could be looking at that storm kind of blowing out a little bit. New Market, Jefferson City. Again, another storm that's kind of tracking back in a similar fashion from northeast Knox, Granger, Jefferson County, and heading back in your direction. So that's what we're looking at as far as that particular storm that's moving to the east at 25 to 30 miles per hour. So let me come back to that particular storm and talk about that. Yeah, it's moving east at 25, 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-size hail. And let me come back and I'll do a storm track for that particular one. And we'll have to take the warnings off a moment just so we can be able to see that more clearly. And again, just to show you broadly what we're looking at, Powell to Knoxville, we've got a strong storm. Let me put back on the warning so you can see that momentarily. And again, to recap, near Farragut, down to Concord and Bluegrass, Choteau Road, North Shore. Again, we do have a strong to severe storm, particularly in southwest Knox County. It is a severe storm near and just south of Farragut, but close enough. Heads up Rockford, Topside Road, Friendsville, Louisville, and continue in Alnwick, heading toward Alcoa and Maryville shortly. That's until 9:45, so about another 40 minutes or so. That's for Blount, Knox, and Loudoun counties. Loudoun County right now seeing some pretty strong storms, and again, the possibility we could be looking at some hail. Jefferson City, as I mentioned, just south of Jefferson City, Newmarket more specifically here to Corryton near Blaine, Skagston, still looking at several of these potential hailers and some of those broadly rotating, so we want you to take cover. If you're watching us near Jefferson City or Newmarket, Corryton, Skagston, Blaine, I want you to take cover from those storms. Damage and winds are certainly possible as those storms continue to track off to the east. Again, elsewhere and otherwise, that's what we're continuing to monitor and keep a close eye on as, again, seeing some of these storms. The one, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and sample this one. As I mentioned, watching that one northeast Skagston, and between Skagston and Blaine crossing over, let's see, 11W right now, looking at potential potential rotation. And a strong to severe storm, Skagston to Blaine, so be prepared to take cover with that particular storm right there as we're continuing to track and see that particular storm making its way off to the east. Again, it's got some potential damage and winds with that particular storm just northeast of Skagston. Elsewhere, Newmarket to Jefferson City. Again, broad rotation, damage and winds 60 miles per hour, quarter size held possible as we'll continue to monitor these storms making their way through the region. So back where we were, I'll take off the warnings. As I mentioned, we'll do a storm track for each one of these particular storms. The one coming into Jefferson County, let me take off lightning as well. And here's what we're looking at for Jefferson City, I should say. It's continued to track off to the east pretty quickly. So if any of your communities just popped up here, you need to be prepared to get your safe place for this particular storm, Newmarket, Dandridge, and also Jefferson City. So Alpha, shortly, Dandridge, Morristown, White Pine, Bainbury, again, Newport and Mohawk. Newport to Mohawk, another 25 to 28 minutes. So this storm, again, continue to track in, and I'm tracking this storm that's west of Jefferson City. You do have another storm separate from that east of Dandridge in Newport now, but a stronger storm is a little bit back to your west that we're seeing. And speaking of which, I'll put the lightning back on so we can see the intensity of the storms. Johnny says it's lightning like crazy in Cosby. Yeah, Corryton, Amberse is getting hit hard. This storm going to be rough, it looks like. Farragut, Kieran, we answered it a moment ago. Hopefully that helped you answer that. Let's see, yeah. Somebody else said, I'm sick of these bad storms. Let me go ahead and give you some great news. After tonight's storms, we're going to be dry for at least the next 7 to almost 10 days, it looks like, with an eventual warming trend. But the next several days look fantastic. Cooler and drier and less humid. Calm, quiet weather, Tuesday, Wednesday, the rest of the week, into the weekend. So we'll focus on that later. It does look hot later this week and next week, but it looks dry for about the next 7 to 10 days. Just a quick look ahead on that. All right, I hope that answered your question. Can you do the storm track for the Oak Ridge area? I think, Brittany, you asked me that a moment ago. Apologize, that's now dated. Erica says Fountain City. Yep, just some general storms. Let me put the warnings back on so we'll all be able to look at that. And again, the latest cluster of severe thunderstorms, and I'll take the lightning back off so you can see it, continues to be, again, from Corryton to Blaine, so Granger, Knox, Jefferson City, near Morristown, heading north of Dandridge toward White Pine, and another separate cell around Bybee and Parrottsville. And other storms, Rogersville, Churchill, and Sneeville up into east of Ewing near Jonesville and Pennington Gap in Lee County, Virginia. So if you're watching us in Lee County, you got some storms. Oneida, general storms heading your direction. They are not severe. Northern Morgan County. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning. Strong storms, Farragut into also the Bearden area. Sequoia Hills seeing some stronger storms. Mainly it's heavy rain, some strong wind gusts. But, you know, I tell you, here's the other issue we got to watch. You know, the soil is saturated, so the root system of trees can be a little bit weakened when you get saturated soils. And we've had a lot of wind energy recently, right? And so our trees, whether they've, hopefully, even the ones that have not fallen, have gotten shifted around a little bit. So just think about what happens under the ground with the roots. They get stretched a little bit, kind of like, you know, muscles or tendons and cartilage getting stretched a little bit. We don't want those to pop, right, to be strained. But the trees and the root system have been strained over the last week or so and are probably more vulnerable to maybe some wind damage. If not this storm directly, indirectly from this storm and due to recent storms. So that is a factor. The recent storms we've had do play a little bit of a role indirectly because of that strain on the root system and the saturated soils. So that's a side note, and we'll do our best to keep you updated on all the storms that continue to pop up and develop. I'll show you a futurecast in one moment. Once again, Calhoun to Etowah and Athens, southern McMinn County. Again, be prepared to take cover from these storms. More scatter storms are popping back up across portions of the Cumberland Plateau. So let me go ahead and do a reset here. Again, this is over the last hour, and you can see the individual severe thunderstorm warnings. Each of these have the potential for some damaging wind gusts. And new severe thunderstorm warning just coming down the pike. Let's see if I can see where that popped up. I believe that's an extension for the Hancock into Hawkins County one, I believe. Yeah, eastern Claiborne, western Hancock, and south central Lee County. So we're going to extend this warning from Tazewell and in Claiborne County, Sneeville and Hancock County, into Lee County, Virginia, and Hawkins County. So it's basically just carrying over that other storm. That will be in place until 10 p.m. So that's the latest warning until 10 p.m. And severe thunderstorm located near New Tazewell, 10 miles southeast of Middlesboro, moving northeast at 30. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail possible near the Tennessee-Virginia state line. So if you're watching us in Tazewell, Sneeville, Pennington Gap, Jonesville, and maybe Rose Hill, Gate City, I should say, we are looking at those potential strong storms, especially for southern Lee County, Virginia, northern Hancock and Hawkins counties. That's the latest on that storm. It is also moving east at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. All right, so that's a look at the latest on that particular one coming down. Again, another busy night with showers and storms. Some of these scattered strong to severe storms. These are going to be possible at least through about midnight or so. Our high-res model, I'll go ahead and show you that now, is we'll go hour by hour here. So here we are at 9:13, and again, this was the depiction at 9 p.m. I tell you what, let's do this. Let's go back. This is a model forecast depiction at 9 p.m., and this is the actual radar. Let me stop it. And a lot of times it's good to be able to kind of look and see how models are doing as far as that. So it's not bad. Overall, it's not too bad of what it's showing. Again, this is current radar, and this is the model forecast. So in general, it's seen most of what's there. And so maybe a little overdone. But that's a look at 9 to 10 p.m. Again, these strong to severe storms kind of moving through our area between now and 10 o'clock. And even at 11 p.m., indications are, at least for Loudoun, portions of Monroe, Blount, Sevier, Cocke, and Jefferson counties up to Hamblin, Greene, and Hawkins counties, still looking at some of these strong thunderstorms possible, possibly severe thunderstorm watch into place until 3 a.m. And this is midnight. Get a new little surge. Here's what's going to be going on at midnight. That first main round is kind of sliding eastward. We've got an actual cold front back to our west that will be sliding in. That's going to start to draw up some more energy and help to refocus, refire some of those scattered storms. So, you know, we're going to have another chance for some stronger storms, maybe isolated severe, as we go midnight and just after. But the other concern that we're going to be watching as this cold front slides in is heavy rainfall and the potential for, some heavier showers, possibility of flooding with saturated soil. So that's certainly another factor that we're going to be looking at as far as that goes. Kevin, over there, let's plan on doing another cut-in on Channel 10 coming up here. See, we're in a commercial break right now. Let me know when they're ready, and Facebook Live viewers, we'll continue with our coverage here. We'll probably do a little bit of a live on-air Channel 10 cut-in here in a moment. And for our on-air viewers, as well as online, that's the benefit of Facebook online. We're much more free and liberty. We don't have to worry about as much the programming, obviously, cutting in. So that's why we can do Facebook Live cut-ins a lot longer. While we're waiting on that to get reset, I'll go back to our current radar so we can look at that and keep you updated and abreast of the very latest. And this is, again, what we're looking at right now is strong to severe storms continuing to impact much of our region. And there's a look at some of the latest with Loudoun County also in coming into Blount County. So just southwest of Knoxville, again, crossing down Pellissippi Parkway. Let me show you a camera view. I'll try to show you that view in just a moment. Lenoir City to Greenback, Rarity Bay, you're covered up, and heavy rain, some strong storms, lightning, Friendsville. Again, Louisville to just southwest of Knoxville, including Sequoia Hills along the river. As I mentioned, Pellissippi. covered up with some decent thunder showers. Fountain City and Halls, heavier rain in Halls, but kind of moving on by. Corrington, you've had some rough go of storms. That's moving out of Knox County. Blaine and Granger County right now. Much of Granger County, you're going to be experiencing some of these strong thunderstorms. So Thornhill, also Joyner, and also into south of Washburn and Thornhill, Clinch Mountain. We are looking at some strong to severe storms. Repeat that, guys. Okay. Okay, we shouldn't have to do the hub. We should just go right directly from Master Control. Sorry, internal. That's fine. Also Jefferson City, strong severe storms again impacting Jefferson City and continuing off to the east southeast. Let me, one moment. Okay, now I'm looking at some new information again. Let me go back to our previous view, and actually this is a decent view to show. One of the other factors in addition to damage and winds is heavy rainfall, high precipitable water values, and there is a chance localized heavy rainfall rates of 1 to 2 inches an hour could lead to some flash flooding, and that's some new information coming from the Weather Prediction Center that I'm looking at as well. So we're going to reset, do an update on Channel 10 coming up right now in just a moment, as soon as they tell me. 30 away, okay. All righty, 30 seconds away. I will continue to try to get your questions. Hope you're having a good, safe night. Again, the rest of the week looks fantastic. So storm coverage tonight, but then we'll be in good shape the rest of the week. So thank y'all for watching. We'll keep you updated throughout the evening. Newport, hey Jeff, got some general thunder showers right now. Okay, good evening to you folks. Hope you're having a good, safe night. I want to bring you a severe weather update for our on-air viewers. We continue our coverage right now over on our WBIR Weather Facebook page as we continue streaming live online on our Facebook page. So when we conclude this severe weather cut-in on air on Channel 10, we'll continue doing our Facebook Live coverage. So I encourage you to monitor there. We'll continue to update you, though, accordingly as severe weather warrants. Some new information. About the time we finished our last cut-in, a severe thunderstorm watch came down the pike until 3 a.m., and so severe weather will be possible as we go through the rest of this evening and into after midnight. I think the main chances, I'm going to show you a futurecast model in just a moment, the main threat for strong to severe storms is generally going to be up until and maybe just after midnight. So we may have to get past midnight into that 1 to 2 a.m. time frame. Again, the official watch goes until 3 a.m., but that does include North Georgia and Western North Carolina. And so a lot of times it's not just your area, it's other areas included, and they have to do a broad, wide area in multiple states and areas a lot of times. That's why the expiration time a lot of times is going to extend way out. Specifically now, what does a watch mean? It means severe weather is possible in and close to the watch area. Stay weather alert. Go about your activities, but be mindful that we could have severe weather. If severe weather warning is issued, that means take action. So a watch is broad, that means it's possible. A warning means it's happening, take action. Always know the difference between a watch, broad, possible, warning, take action, it's happening. And we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings that I'm going to show you right now. So here's what we're looking at, and I'll try to zoom into each one of these. Tazewell, west of Rogersville, that's one cluster of severe weather. Dandridge to Newport, another cluster of strong to severe storms. Lenore City to Alcoa, Maryville, Loudoun County into Blount County, and new storm warning, thunderstorm warning from McMinn County into Tellico Plains, and a strong storm in the gray box right here that's indicated Cumberland County, including near Crab Orchard, heading toward Rockwood. So first stop will take us again across northern sections of Claiborne County up into Hawkins County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning till 9:45. Part of that extension goes till 10 p.m. actually, and so that's until 10 p.m. And we do have the potential for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So Tazewell, Sneedville, toward Eitzen, north of Rogersville, be prepared to take cover. I'll stop the radar right there. And Churchill, heading toward Kingsport, you're seeing some strong to severe storms as well, stronger storms, I should say. Let me take the lightning off so you can see just what we're looking at. Jefferson City, back toward Corrington, multiple rounds of strong to severe storms. Corrington, you're out of a severe thunderstorm warning for right now. Jefferson City, White Pine, Dandridge, Douglas Dam area, Newport, Bybee, Cott County, Jefferson, and back into portions of coming out of Knox into Granger counties. That's where our severe thunderstorm warning is in place, and you just saw that pop up. Yep, flash flood warning. Let me try to get on the edge of the screen so just that shows up. We have a flash, it's not a flash flood warning, that's a flood advisory, apologize. That is until 12:30 a.m. for Granger, Jefferson, and Knox counties. So that's what we're looking at as far as the latest. Again, that is the latest flood advisory, I should say, flood advisory. And I took off the severe thunderstorm warning so we could see that better. A flood advisory for Granger, Jefferson, Knox, and Union counties until just after midnight till 12:30 a.m. That means we've had repeated episodes of heavy rainfall, as you can see over the last 2 hours, moving repeatedly across the same area, coming from Anderson, Union, Knox, including Corrigan, portions of Jefferson, and Granger into Hamlin counties, roughly like that. Off to the east, slightly south of east. So this repeated training of strong to severe storms, that's the reason for that flood advisory. Again, that will be in place until 12:30 a.m. Elsewhere and otherwise, we have more severe thunderstorm warnings, as I mentioned, including for Loudoun into Blount counties right here. And this severe thunderstorm warning will be in place until 9:45, so less than 30 more minutes. Friendsville, Greenback, Louisville, Alcoa, Maryville, and this does include just south of Knoxville, so Alcoa Highway and also heading toward Chapman Highway, coming right south of Knoxville. Heavy rainfall. North Knox County are in better shape, but South Knoxville down into Blount County, that's where we have this severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45, including Rockford, Topside Road area. Again, Alcoa Highway 129, Alcoa, Maryville, Friendsville, Louisville. Heading out of Lenore City, you were hit pretty hard with those strong to severe storms earlier in Loudoun County. And oh my goodness, in Loudoun County, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm estimating you've had over 7 to 8 inches of rain over the last week and a half. Just in Loudoun County alone, much less other areas. Yeah, you've been hit exceptionally hard. Watch out for flooding. That's another point I want to make. We're talking about tracking severe weather and severe storms on the front end. Heavy rainfall and possible flooding is going to be possible in addition to the severe weather right now, kind of a layer cake. But then we're transitioning from a severe weather threat to a heavy rainfall threat as we go after midnight tonight. Just keep that in mind and plan on using caution on the roads. Keep in mind the soils are saturated. Tree systems could be weakened with the root system, I should say, and so that could lead to more downed trees, hopefully not, but that's one of the concerns due to the storms we've had over the last week and a half. Yet the trees and root systems have been strained, so any more winds could easily kind of blow those down, even if these are below severe levels. That's one factor when you have multiple storms over repeated days and going on over a week or so now. So there's a look at the severe storms. Again, for our Channel 10 viewers, I'm going to get you back to programming here momentarily. We do want you to stay weather alert as we have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in place until 3 a.m. And again, some of the latest information on heavy rain could also be leading to some pockets of some flash flooding. Let me show you one more big picture before I get our viewers back to our regular programming. We're looking at more of the storms that are continuing that will be redeveloping back to our west, east of Nashville. The actual cold front is still back to our west as well. So here's a look at the bigger picture of what we're seeing. Again, as of earlier this evening, that cold front was making its way from western Kentucky to West Tennessee. And again, I'm going to kind of manually kind of scoot that front. It's probably there about now, roughly speaking. So that front is making its way east. As this cold front continues to march eastward, that's going to continue to draw up more moisture generally from the south and west, and that means we're going to be seeing more thunderstorms developing ahead of that cold front into our region. And because it's so humid, heavy rainfall, strong to severe storms, again, are going to be possible. So one more quick check of our Futurecast high-res model. We'll continue Facebook Live coverage. Channel 10 viewers, we'll keep you updated throughout the rest of tonight as we go between right now and 10 p.m. These strong to severe storms sliding off to just to our south and east, heavy rainfall accompanying these as well. And then there's midnight, a new wave of energy will likely move in between midnight and about 1 to 2 a.m. These will contain heavy rainfall, maybe some strong isolated severe storms, and then we'll start to see improving conditions as we go 5, 6, 7 a.m. And the rest of our Tuesday, yes, good news, cooler and drier weather on the way by tomorrow afternoon, and the rest of the week does look dry. That's the latest weather update. Again, we'll keep you up to date with more severe weather coverage throughout the evening. Stay tuned, Facebook Live viewers, for continued coverage. Channel 10 viewers, have a good, safe night. Okay, for our Facebook Live viewers, we continue our coverage now, and obviously was doing on-air coverage, so I looked away, and I'll try to catch back up with your questions. Let's see, I'll just kind of going back through. And again, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll try to keep you up to date as much as we can. as we go through these storms. Expected storms, as you just heard us talk about, through this evening and just after midnight at least. The other additional concern besides damage and winds on the front end will be heavy rainfall and possibility of flooding. Let's see. Ashley. Yep, Ashley's very good point. Talking about a cold front moving in that will ramp the storms back up. You know, once the atmosphere taps in to the energy available, a lot of times you see this, the leading edge can be severe and the front end, and then the rest of the storms, the back end, are more heavy rainers because you're slightly less unstable, maybe slightly more stable after that first lead edge. We'll see if that plays out, but we do have a severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m., so additional strong to severe storms will be possible through late evening and even after midnight. But I think in addition, what we're seeing now are severe weather threat. Heavy rainfall is going to be a primary concern after midnight especially. Well, it's a primary concern right now in addition to, there's twofold primary concerns, damage and winds and heavy rainfall. But heavy rain will continue to be a threat, particularly so as we move just after midnight. So that's what we're looking at right now. Again, that flood advisory for North Knox into portions of Granger County with precipitable waters. How much water, how much rain can be precipitated out of the atmosphere? Let me just give you an example of how, you know this already, how humid it is outside, but let me give you an example between Athens and Etowah. Well, it's 1.63 inches per hour. So we have rainfall rates of 1.5 inches to 2 inches per hour. That's coming down pretty good. And coming between Loudon and Greenback, just to give, is just an example, over 1 inch per hour rainfall rates. Again, nothing earth-shattering there. Over 1 inch per hour rainfall rates also coming out of Knox County. So that just gives you a sample of what we're looking at, again, as far as the rainfall of what we're seeing across our region. Now, we have had some possible hail. By the way, if you can safely submit storm pictures or photos, whether it be any branches or trees down, storm reports like power outages and things like that, photos of hail that you may have received earlier, or any storm reports or storm damage, if you can safely send that to us, we don't want you to get out while it's lightning or storming, et cetera. Or if your power's out and power lines are down, don't go outside as well. Stay safe inside, okay? But if you can safely send us any of those pictures or even the information, we appreciate that because we can pass that along to the rest of our viewers. And so this is, again, what we're looking at as I'll show you that bigger picture. Severe thunderstorm winds, and again, I just wanted to kind of do a big picture view because we're looking for specific brightness and colors to help us see where some of the stronger winds may be located right now. And I see near Greenback, there's some 45 mile per hour wind gust. Wildwood, not as high as I thought it was earlier, but looking at some potential stronger winds that could be moving in. So again, that's what we're looking at as I reset on radar and show you the bigger picture. And if you're tuning in or if you've been tuning in, we've been talking about this line of strong to severe storms making its way through East Tennessee. These started popping up in North Knox County around 7 p.m. Wow, so just like that, we've had 2.5 hours go by. And these storms continue to track to the east. I'll show you a Futurecast update in just a moment. I'm going to clean up our radar and tracks in just a moment so we can walk through these easily. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. And again, there's a look at the current radar of what we're seeing. And again, the latest flood advisory has been issued for northeast Knox County. And there's the severe thunderstorm warning until 9:45 for Granger, Hamlin, and Jefferson. But as I take off the severe thunderstorm warnings, didn't mean to take all those off. There we go. Take that off. There's a look at the flood advisory that will be in place. It does it by priority. So flood advisory from Corrington to Jefferson City, Southern Union, Northern Knox, portions of Granger, southwestern Granger, and northwestern Jefferson counties. That's the flood advisory. Let me hop on over to the latest from the National Weather Service in Morristown. I also have a wind damage report. Several trees reported down in Jefferson County from the 911 call center that came in at 9:06, about 25 minutes ago, roughly. So again, that's what we're looking at. Hawkins County, severe thunderstorm warning till 10:15. That is the latest there. And the flood advisory, for Jefferson, Knox, and Union counties, here is the latest on that particular one. Again, a flood advisory, at least minor flooding, this is what we're looking at. That's until 12:30 a.m. Doppler radar was indicating heavy rains due to thunderstorms repeatedly affecting the area. We talked about that a moment ago. Between 1.25 inches and 2 inches of rain have fallen across the advisory area. So let me show you that, and I'm going to show you this first. And this is a 24-hour product, so I'm going to have to take off, adjust the time, 1/2 second for that. I'll give you the correct amount of rain that's fallen. It's not too much different, actually. Okay, so here's Doppler radar estimating since these storms have begun. This is an estimate, but as the Weather Service was talking about 1.25 inches to 2 inches, yeah, there's 2.2 right now, and it's a rolling total. So if I left that there and it's continued to rain, it'll continue to go up. And that's what we're looking at. Near Corrington and near Jefferson City, same. Over almost 2.25 inches now, just since the storm started tonight. And so, there you go. That's basically in 2.5 hours. So that's around that inch per hour rainfall rate, right? I mean, roughly, right at it, actually, real close to it, and maybe just above that. So that's what we're looking at. That's the type of heavy rainfall, and it's only, right now, our flash flood guidance is only about an inch, 1.5 inches, roughly. A lot of these areas, differs in some areas, but if we get about an inch, 1.5 inches rainfall, and that's why exactly why they issued a flood advisory, actually, because that matches up with the guidance. I think it was 1.5 inches to 2 inches earlier, actually. But once we get up to about that 1.5 inch point, flooding, and at least minor flooding, saturated soils, runoff, and that continues. So when we have runoff, okay, the soil is saturated, you can't have any more infiltration. So that rain on top of the soil is just going to run off, and that's what floods. So once the soil becomes saturated, then everything is running off, no more infiltration. That's where you have flood advisories. And then if it continues and gets a little bit worse, you can have flash flood warning. That's an upgrade to an advisory, a flash flood warning. Okay, so I just want to make sure we were all up to date on that. Okay, I'm going to try to see what questions you have, and we'll go from there. And I'll try to keep you updated. And just like that, it's Kenny, right? Flash flood warning, just issued. We're just literally talking about that. So they actually replaced, we were literally just talking about that, right? They just replaced this advisory with a flash flood warning because the guidance, rainfall rates have been achieved. So if Todd would have stayed there a 1/2 second longer, we all saw it together. So we got to do this again. Let me go back and take off the severe thunderstorm warning so we can all see that together. So now, and I'll stop radar. There you go. That was literally 45 seconds ago, just upgraded. We were just looking at that together. Let me take off lightning. Again, it is lightning, but let's talk about what's happening here. And I'll read you the latest information as that literally just came down. And we kind of went through that explanation of advisory is one thing, but then the warning is much higher. It does include, again, specifically right here, where storms have been training from coming out of Campbell, Anderson, Union counties, but especially near the Union-Knox County line, basically Corrington, Blaine, near Plainview, southwestern Granger County, into Jefferson County. So let's just say, generally speaking, from Corrington to Jefferson City and all areas in between. It does extend back to the west a little bit, coming out of Norris, near there. So, you know, basically from near Norris to Jefferson City, we'll say. This flash flood warning, let me read you the information, as this is some updated information. At 9:32, so 3 minutes ago now, just 3 minutes ago, we had Doppler radar indicated thunderstorm producing heavy rain across the warned area up to we just saw that, over 2 inches of rain, I showed you 2.2 a moment ago, have fallen over the last hour. So that's over the last hour. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches possible over the next hour in the warned area. So there was what we're seeing, those 1 to 2 inch per hour rainfall rates in this area that will continue. So flash flooding either ongoing or is expected to begin shortly. So we're seeing a break from the rain right now, which is good news west of Corrington, but we continue to see very heavy rainfall from Blaine to Jefferson City and points north. Now again, this is a specific detailed area of a flash flood warning, but just outside of this, north or south, in this case north, you're experiencing some similar conditions, so heads up on that. Flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, underpasses, other poor drainage, low-lying areas will be possible. So again, that's an update on flash flood warning, and now we'll reset and show you what we're looking at for everybody else. So that's updated information. There's that strong storm coming into Rockwood. Other severe thunderstorm warnings, Tazewell to Rogersville. Again, all of these have the potential for damaging winds. If you're watching this, and you can, I'm going to go through these so you can see closer. I'm going to mention the larger town that's showing up. If you live near these areas, you need to be prepared to, continue to take cover. It's now, and I'll stop the radar so we can see the latest, Sneedville, Rogersville, Churchill, Sheboyganville, Jefferson City, Dandridge, White Pine, Morristown, Talbot, especially got a lot of lightning, right coming up 11E. Very heavy rainfall. Alpha, National Weather Service in Morristown, getting it pretty good right now. Cluster of storms moving toward south of Malsheim near Mohawk, south of Greenville, Tusculum area. Side note on that. Not as much storminess right now near Newport, even though you got a warning. That may be weakening. Seymour, Maryville, Greenback. Yes, so Blount County, south of Knox County. So Louisville, Alcoa, Maryville, and Benfield, Wildwood, Greenback, Seymour, Boyd's Creek, Knox County, Sevier County line. Heading up near Kodak, take cover. Crossville, Lantana, Lake Tansy, Crab Orchard, Westall, Ozone, Etowah, southward in South McMinn County into Monroe County, Etowah to Tellico Plains. Okay, so that's what we're. If you heard your town mentioned, or you live near those towns, again, Blount County into northern Sevier County, especially among others, Dandridge to Morristown, Talbot, Jefferson City, take cover. Again, strong thunderstorm cluster, Rogersville, Sheboyganville, Churchill, Maryville, Alcoa, South Knox County, Athens, Etowah, Tellico Plains. Those are some of the stronger storms. La Follette, Huntsville, again, have lightning developing. Jellicoe, Stinking Creek area. If you're watching this from Middlesboro, be prepared to take cover there as well. And, okay, let's see. I need to check out that storm. Greene, Hancock, Hawkins County. I just need to sample this storm. It has a little bit of extra attention given to it by the National Weather Service. So I'm going to sample this storm to make sure we're in good shape here. Sneedville, if you're watching this is on the far north, upper east Tennessee area, bordering Tennessee and Virginia. But Sneedville, Kyles Ford, mentioned Rogersville, Sheboyganville, Churchill. Hancock County, Hawkins counties, you have a severe thunderstorm warning till 10:15. And let me look at, oh, yeah, okay. So that's what does he see when he goes, ooh, well, I see rotation. It's broad, but Eitzen to Rogersville. And so this is what we're looking at right now. So I want you to be prepared to move into your safe place. Let me go ahead and show you what we're seeing right in here. Some broad rotation. That's why I saw extra information on the Weather Service, extra tag on that. Let me read off that information. This storm is moving east 25, quarter-size cells, 60-mile-per-hour winds. It does have some broad rotation. And with that, damage and winds are certainly possible. So if you live between Eitzen and Rogersville, again, whether it has severe thunderstorm, whether it's showing that or not, which I know it's not, it's severe. We're looking at potentially some damage and winds. It's rotating. And Sheboyganville, if you're watching this in Sheboyganville and Hawkins County, I want you to be prepared to take cover from this storm. I'm going to loop it. This is the last hour. Then we're going to slow it down. The default is slow, but it's not slow enough. So here's the default. Here's rotation. Here's what I'm looking at right here. Yeah, coming, it's near Eitzen, just south of Eitzen. Let me check that roadway for you. As 11W to your south, Highway 33, Highway 70 from Kyles Ford down toward Rogersville, and including Highway 70 Eitzen. So again, that may or may not still be there, database. Sometimes it's not updated, but if it is, Maple Hill School, or what used to be there. And so as far as the database goes, and that's what we're looking at as far as the rotation near and just south of Eitzen and continuing to track to the east. I've zoomed on in. Let me widen on out so you can see between Kyles Ford and Rogersville and Eitzen, if you're watching us there. So heads up, some broad rotation is what's showing up there right now. Let me go back to radar and let's take okay. Well, just like that, they upgraded to a tornado warning. Okay. Hey, Kevin, if we'll do a Channel 10 hit, please, coming up here. It's uncanny how we're watching this and we're kind of looking at the same thing together and then they upgrade it. That's because of the rotation we were just looking at. That's why I went, ooh, there you go. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, tornado warning till 10:30 for Hawkins County specifically, and it's for that particular storm that we're just looking at. So I just mentioned Cowles Ford, Rogersville, Eitzen, Highway 70, 11W to the south, and forgot the road to the Highway 33 to the north. So that's what we're looking at. Need to be prepared to move into your safe place. We're about to do a Channel 10 cut-in. This is on the edge of our Channel 10 viewing area, but if we have viewers watching us, it doesn't matter if it's in the heart of Knoxville or on the far extreme edge. We're going to keep you updated, make sure everybody's safe and taken care of. So here's what we're looking at as far as that goes. I need to get the velocity scan right there, and I'm going to show the potential hail. We don't have much hail, so we're not going to show that. This is a different product I'm going to show that hopefully we don't have to use. It shows if there's debris, etc. That's why we don't have to use it. Here's a look at the tornado warning again for Hawkins County. So if you're watching this in Hawkins County right now, Facebook Live viewers, if you have any questions, I'll try to get away. Yeah, Madison Woods, thank you for that information. Yeah, stay away from outer walls and windows. Lowest floor, bathroom, hallway, or closet. Center part of your home, small room, lowest floor until the storm passes. Thank you. I'm ready. Okay, good evening. We do have an update to storms moving through Hawkins County. A tornado warning has been issued. We were just watching this storm. We're continuing our coverage on Facebook Live. We've been watching this storm throughout the evening, and it has shown broad signs of rotation. Let me quickly read you the information. I'll give you a storm track coming right up. And again, we continue our coverage on Facebook Live. You can join us there afterwards as well. Tornado warning, northern Hawkins County until 10:30. Churchill, Eitzen, Rogersville, Surgoinsville. The short of it is between Cowles Ford to Eitzen, and north of Rogersville. We have possible rotation, especially along Highway 70 from Cowles Ford down toward Eitzen, and a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Rogersville or north of there, moving east at 25 miles per hour. Tornado and quarter-size hail is possible. So again, this is a look at what we're talking about with this particular storm. Let me widen back out one moment. And again, Rogersville right there. There's Eitzen, Cowles Ford, and again, so here's what we're looking at. There's Rogersville, Eitzen, Cowles Ford. Again, possible tornadic thunderstorm in this area. Let me show you what we're looking at as I zoom on in. Here's the possible rotation. I'm going to show you the last hour. We're going to slow that down just a little bit. I'm going to show you the last 30 minutes, and we're going to go from slow to very slow so we can all look at this together. And you can see where we have the green and red colors close together, that is what we call a couplet and a sign of rotation. If the brighter the colors and they're closer together, the tighter the couplet. This is a broad rotation of what we're seeing right now. Near Eitzen, crossing over Highway 70, near just north of Rogersville, but close. So if you're watching us between Cowles Ford, Eitzen, Rogersville, and heading towards Surgoinsville. If you're watching us in Surgoinsville and Churchill and continuing along Highway 11W, this is going to be going from Highway 70 and crossing over and moving on to Highway 11W momentarily. So let me go ahead and do a storm track, and if you're anywhere close to this particular storm, and let me see, get the movement. It's moving east at 25 miles per hour. So we're right there at 25 right there. Okay, that's east at 25. Here's our latest storm track. And again, I'm just going to read these off. Forgive me if I misspell, or mispronounce, I should say, mispronounce your name, your city. Henner Mill, Belvins, we got Hawkins County, that's broad. Surgoinsville, and Stony Point, Stacy, and Greenland. So any of these communities that you see on your screen right here. You need to be prepared to take cover between now and the next 27 minutes. Here's the possible tornadic storm. It's a severe thunderstorm with a tornado that's possible, but a tornado warning has been issued because it's tightened up enough that there's enough rotation. And that's what we're seeing that we'll be continuing to track through Hawkins County, Cowles Ford, Eitzen, and also north of Rogersville, and continue to head toward Amos, Henner Mill, Belvins, Burham, and it's got Hawkins County, and we're in Hawkins County, but Zion Hill, Surgoinsville, Stony Point, Stacy, and Greenland. That's the tornado warning, again in place until 10:30 p.m., and that's the latest of what we're seeing. Again, let me put back on the track the warning so you can see that. Again, tornado warning is in place for Hawkins County, including Churchill, Eitzen, Rogersville, Shergoinsville. Right now, just south of Kyles Ford and Eitzen area, and tracking off to the east, as I mentioned, at 25 miles per hour. Damaging winds are possible whether there's an actual tornado on the ground or not, but with tornadoes, you have focused high winds. We saw this, for example, a week ago. Right? We had destructive, damaging winds for many areas, but within that line of destructive winds, we had a brief tornado spin up. And that's where you have even more concentrated winds. So obviously, that's why we give even more attention a lot of times when there's a tornado warning. But even on a line of severe thunderstorm warnings and severe storms in general, you can still have those similar damage in some cases. But this is a possible tornado. We'll give extra attention to that. Eitzen to Rogersville, and again, seeing the potential for some of that slow and broad rotation right along Highway 70 and moving through portions of Hawkins County. This will be tracking towards Shergoinsville and eventually Churchill. So again, downstream, I'll go ahead and highlight your area. I'll go ahead and keep that radar looping. And what we're looking at when it shows velocity, that is the wind speed and coming at different directions, what we call wind shear, and a couplet of gate-to-gate shear within the atmosphere that's showing possible rotation. So we got Shergoinsville, and also we have Churchill. You could be in the path of the storm. These two bigger cities, communities, that could be in the path of the storm. But right now, just south and east of Eitzen, Highway 70, near and just north of Rogersville, but close enough. So Rogersville, you also need to be in your safe place here. So if you're watching this in any of these communities, as this storm continues to track off to the east, again, it will continue to bring a threat for a possibility of a tornado warning. I've got this kind of zoomed in or focused right there. I'll move that line just a little bit more so it's a little bit better representation. But any of these communities showing up right here, you need to be prepared to move into your safe place. So again, that's what we're looking at. And we can, I know we've got the camera full. We can bring it back on screen if you want. And thank you, Gus. This is what we're looking at. Again, King Creek School, Belvin, Shergoinsville, less than 15 minutes from right now. Smith Chapel, Stacy, and eventually toward Churchill. That's what we're looking at as far as the potential storms moving in. Again, this is a tornado warning for Hawkins County. It's for central portions of Hawkins County near Eitzen, Highway 70. Seeing some decent rotation. Again, that's going to continue to track through the rest of Hawkins County north of Rogersville, near Rogersville, just north, Shergoinsville, Churchill, as I take a breath there, and also tracking through the rest of Hawkins County. That's the bigger picture. This is far upper East Tennessee. That's the storm that's rolling out of Hancock County into portions of Hawkins County. There's enough wind energy with strong updrafts going on within this severe storm that it's got the severe storm rotating and enough rotation that it could be a possible tornado. It's that progression. We have other widespread, severe thunderstorm warnings, other severe thunderstorm warnings that are have been fairly numerous across much of our region, although less coverage now than what we were seeing earlier. Let me show you just the radar. And here's what we're looking across our region. We have had ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings up and down for this latest line that's moving in. McMinn County, Monroe County, we have severe thunderstorm warnings there, and also Blount County into Sevier County, we have strong storms. Severe thunderstorm warnings have been discontinued for the storm in Blount and Sevier County, but we still have, again, other strong storms making their way through the region. So again, the main concern right now is for Morristown, Dandridge, severe thunderstorm warning for you. Let me zoom on in and take a look at that storm. And also the tornado warning. And I mentioned the storm for you at McMinn, Etowah, and Telco Plains. Be prepared to take cover there. Again, the tornado warning takes priority, so I have to zoom way in to just show this particular storm. And this is the one until 10:30 for Granger, Hamblin, Hawkins, and Jefferson counties, Alpha, Bainbury, Morristown, and Rutledge. So again, that's a look at this particular storm. Basically, it's from Dandridge toward Alpha, White Pine, Bainbury. This particular storm also could be looking at some potentially damaging wind gusts from White Pine to Bainbury. So sampling this particular storm, where you see these brighter reds, pinkish colors, that's where, I know it didn't show up much, but we could be looking at some stronger wind gusts embedded within this line. We're real close to the radar right here, not seeing the full effect of that. But that's what we're looking at potentially right now. The other main concern, obviously, is the tornado warning for Hawkins County. That's in place until 10:30. As this storm continues to track from near Eitzen, north of Rogersville, toward Shergoinsville. Let me go back to velocity and see if there's any change. I still see a general broad rotation, but a possible funnel cloud, a possible tornado. Highway 70 near 11W, Sir-Goinsville, and we're continuing to track this storm as it moves off to the east. And with that, National Weather Service in Morristown is going to take, actually, I was about to say severe thunderstorm warning, actually, that are going to continue that tornado warning. Now, this is going to be moving generally just outside the Channel 10 viewing area, but it is going to be impacting far northern Greene County and coming out of Hawkins County. So this gets a little cluttered. Let me talk about what's going on. Again, near Sir-Goinsville, heading toward Church Hill, heading toward Fall Branch, heading toward Kingsport. Again, that's going to move out of Hawkins County into other portions of Sullivan County, northern Greene County, as it continues to track on off to the east. So Greene, Hawkins, and if you're watching this by chance for Sullivan or Washington, you have family there, there's a tornado warning. So the communities I want to mention is Spurgeon, Fall Branch, Kingsport, and then in the Channel 10 viewing area, Churchill, Sir-Goinsville. Our coverage area includes Hancock, Hawkins, and Greene counties, okay? And so outside of that, Bristol, the Tri-Cities area, Kingsport area picks up coverage there. So they'll handle that tornado warning as for the Kingsport area and Tri-Cities. But we do have Rogersville, Sir-Goinsville, Churchill, and Hawkins County, a tornado warning until 10:30. Again, that's a storm. It's continuing to actually, it looks like it's shifting and refocusing a little bit between Fall Branch and Kingsport, heads up Church Hill, more intense storms there. A reminder, in about 8 minutes from right now, we're going to be doing our live programming over on Fox 43 at 10 o'clock. We'll continue to maybe doing some simulcasting with Channel 10 or breaking in. We'll talk about that later. But do be advised that we're Facebook live streaming throughout this evening, continuing, and we'll be having coverage on Fox 43 at 10 o'clock, and of course a full broadcast at 11 o'clock coming up on Channel 10, and we'll continue to bring you latest with that coverage. So just to keep everybody abreast of the latest, Morristown to White Pine, that is a severe thunderstorm warning. And again, the tornado warning takes priority, so I have to shift all the way off the screen so we can get the correct warning. That's what we're looking at right there. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning for Granger, Hamlin, Hawkins, and Jefferson counties till 10:30. Heads up White Pine to Morristown. Got some strong storms. I'm going to zoom on in. You do have the potential for some damaging winds from Morristown to White Pine to Bainbury. So I want you to be prepared to seek your safe place. National Weather Service office in Alpha. Can you tell where the radar is? Right there. And again, that's where the NWS office is. So from the rest of Hamlin County into the rest of Jefferson County, coming into Cocke County shortly. So Hamlin, Jefferson, Cocke counties, again, coming out of Granger. That's where we have the severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30. There's the possibility of some damaging winds from Bainbury to White Pine. Be prepared to move in your safe place. These are severe thunderstorm winds, but could be causing winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. The hail potential, some hail possible. Don't see overall great hail coverage there. Here's what we're looking at across the rest of our region from Sevierville down toward Seymour, Townsend. We're looking at, again, thunderstorms that are continuing from northern Sevier County. Not severe, no severe thunderstorm warnings on these particular ones, and but back into Loudoun County and Blount counties as some strong to possible stronger thunderstorms, not severe. I do want to mention a flash flood warning. That is an upgrade of what we had from earlier from the flood advisory. So if you're watching this in northern Knox County, this is a flash flood warning that has been issued until, there's the tornado warning taking priority, flash flood warning until 12:30 in the morning for Granger, Jefferson, Knox, and Union counties. That does include Blaine, Corrington, Luttrell, and New Market. So there's the flash flood warning centered around Corrington to Blaine, including New Market near Jefferson City, Luttrell, and back toward near Norris, coming out of Anderson and counties from earlier. That's a look at storms that were repeatedly moving across the same area, and that's what we're looking at right now. Tavian Whitehurst has joined me in the Weather Center here, and thank you, Tavian. Tavian? Another day, another storms. Tavian's been tracking storms throughout the weekend and doing great coverage for us as well. So thank you, Tavian, for your help. Again, Facebook Live viewer stream, continues. Tavian, if you want to drive that, I'm going to go to the wall. And I know we're getting ready for our 10 o'clock broadcast in a moment. For the next couple of minutes, if we're able to, so I will go to the wall. If we're able to bring it up, great. If not, we'll go to the different monitor. Just let me know. We're able to do either the chroma key wall, or I can go to the BAM if that's easier, guys. Either way, I'll keep walking until we show up somewhere. Okay, so we can do the weather wall. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Thank you, Danielle, for that update. We'll go to the big monitor. And again, flash flood warning continues. And Tavian, I'll let you drive that across for our viewers, and we'll get an update on that. And I'm looking at your questions on Facebook. Again, just said a hello as I walked in front of the screen there. So here's what we're looking at. Again, flash flood warning. We've seen the operator estimating over 2¼ inches right at it from there to Blaine to Jefferson City. And Tavian, let's go, and while we have just a couple minutes, let's do our severe thunderstorms and radar tracking with the storms as they continue to make their way, again, off the plateau and into parts of the valley. We'll just start with a big wide view. Thank you, man. And again, for those, Greene County, folks are wondering about Greene County. This tornado warning that's coming out of Hawkins County into portions of Hawkins County into portions of Greene County. Again, that's a look at what we're seeing, the tornado warning till 10:30. And thank you guys for putting that up. There's a look at that storm that's tracking from Segowensville, Church Hill, and toward Kingsport. Again, there's some broad rotation that's showing up right now with this storm. So Hawkins County continue to move it's far northern Greene County. So basically Geraldstown, north of Greenville. And again, that's what we're looking at. And Tavian, you can look as well. You know, some broad rotation showing up with the reds going away, outbound winds, the green coming in. So there's a look at some of that broad rotation, but enough of a couplet showing up for a possible tornado. So we had a severe thunderstorm warning earlier. National Weather Service of Morristown upgrading that to a tornado warning for enough rotation. We'll continue to see if that holds together, but that's going to go on into the Tri-Cities area from Hawkins County, far northern Greene, and toward Kingsport. Elsewhere, we do have the stronger thunderstorms impacting much of the valley area, and yeah, there's what we're looking at right there. That storm will track to the east. I believe it's about 25 miles per hour, and we have the flash flood warning for Corryton to Jefferson City. And elsewhere, we have the scattered storms. Again, the other severe thunderstorm warning, we have Morristown to Dandridge. Thank you, Tavian. And also from Etowah to Tellico Plains. If you're watching this from Etowah to Tellico Plains, and also near Athens, actually in Riceville, that storm at McMinn County firing back up. And from Crab Orchard to Rockwood, coming off the plateau, some of those storms intensifying. And we will continue to be tracking those storms as they move due east. So Etowah, Tellico Plains, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. You could have some hail. Heads up Athens, Inglewood, this is at least strong. You know, the National Weather Service of Morristown is sampling, looking at a lot of different storms. Townsend, Maryville, another cluster of storms. Sevierville, a lot more lightning. Again, these are not severe right now, but they're strong. Could have 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, some half-inch size hail, and torrential rainfall. Any of these storms will be producing heavy rain. Okay, I'm going to take a reset in a moment. We're about to start our 10 o'clock broadcast in about 2 minutes over on Fox 43. Our Channel 10 viewers continue to, you can watch us on Facebook Live. If we can continue to try to stream that. If we can't, Tavian Whitehurst is here, and we're going to continue to keep you updated the best we can. We may be simulcasting. We'll keep you updated the best we can on that. And, of course, we'll have full coverage for the rest of tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock over on Channel 10. And we'll be here as long as there's a severe weather threat, which there's expected to be. And, Tavian, I don't know if you can go back real quick to my first graphics. Probably about 8 graphics up. There's a severe thunderstorm watch until 3 a.m. Right there. It does include pretty much all of East Tennessee. Actually, they did add Fentress County. Interesting. That was not there earlier. Jamestown, you are included. Does not include Southeast Kentucky. And I think they've included that back to Middle Tennessee, even further back to the west. So that means we have a chance for severe weather until just after midnight, especially between right now and about midnight to 1, maybe 2 a.m. Looking at the latest high-res model, we've got a chance for some strong severe storms until just after midnight. Heavy rainfall is going to be another concern. All right, so we're going to get ready for our show at 10. Thank you for joining us, Facebook Live viewers, and we'll continue to keep you updated as we go throughout this evening. Stay safe. Again, if you don't have to be out on the roads, I would keep it inside because torrential rain is going to create hydroplaning conditions and some not safe driving conditions with possible flooding overnight, in addition to the potential for some active storms. So again, join us on Fox 43 at 10 o'clock coming up in just a couple of moments. We'll keep you updated there. And of course, throughout the evening, we'll keep you updated with the very latest. Now, again, I do hope you have a good, safe night. Do like a normal start. Sure, that's fine.
6, 5, 4.
Hey, Chris, here's your phone. Here's your phone, Chris.
New at 10 tonight on Fox 43, a court in Georgia, Fulton County, has approved 10 indictments. We have more info on that. Plus, strong storms are moving through our area right now. We'll track the timing and how it could impact your morning commute. And then later, state wildlife officers say trash left out in the Smokies is harming wildlife like black bears. How you can help prevent it from happening again.
Got it.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for Fox 43 News at 10. I'm Katie Emming. We want to go ahead and get right over to our chief meteorologist, Todd Howell, who has an update on the severe storms moving through our area. Hey, Todd.
Okay, Katie, thank you so much. Just after 10 o'clock now, 10:02, we continue to track the strong to severe storms, latest severe thunderstorm warning for Morristown, Dandridge area, and also a tornado warning that has been issued for Hawkins County and will continue to track across Hawkins County, Northern Greene, and into the Tri-Cities area. Church Hill right now, Sir-Gowensville and Church Hill need to be taking cover from this potential tornadic storm, and that's continuing to move toward Fall Branch and Kingsport, just outside of our viewing area across Upper East Tennessee. Other strong storms I mentioned, Morristown, Dandridge area, and also McMinn, Monroe counties, Etowah, over toward Tellico Plains. We do have a flash flood warning, including Corryton over to Jefferson City, parts of Granger County, for the heavy rainfall that has occurred and has led to potential flooding. And so that's some of the latest information. Let's reset and let me show you and take you to this latest tornado warning. This does include, again, Hawkins County. Now, this is the storm that's continued to track due east through Hawkins County. It's got a little bit of a notch on the back edge of that near Sir-Gowensville and Church Hill. So again, for any of our viewers that happen to be watching us across this portion of East Tennessee area and Hawkins County specifically, a tornado warning will be in place for about another 27 minutes. It includes for Church Hill, Eitzen, Rogersville, and Sir-Gowensville. And then the other part of the storm is outside of our viewing area. But if you have family and friends, neighbors, or family and friends, I should say, that live up in that area, Kingsport area, and continuing into the Tri-Cities. That's a look at that storm in Sullivan County toward Kingsport that's potentially got a possible tornado. Now, elsewhere and otherwise, let's bring you up to date with what we're seeing. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning, as I mentioned, we're continuing to track this strong to severe storm, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible in the Morristown area, and continuing to track off to the east at across portions of Hamblin County and continuing down into northern Jefferson County. So here's a look at this warning. Again, this is for Granger, Hamblin, Hawkins, and Jefferson counties, including Alpha, Bainbury, Morristown, and Rutledge until 10:30. So 60-mile-per-hour winds or higher, and also possible hail. That storm is moving out of the warned area into a little bit more of Cocke County and Greene County. So from Mohawk, Mossheim, and eventually Bybee, Parrottsville, north of Newport. The other strong storms, we're just going to go ahead and do more coverage here from Dandridge, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Wares Valley, Townsend. This is what we're looking at for these stronger storms, not a severe thunderstorm warning. Sorry, there's priority. It wants to show up if it's anywhere on the screen. And that's what we're looking at across our viewing area. Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Wares Valley, Seymour, and back into Blount County, including near Alcoa, Maryville. Heavy rainfall, some stronger storms continuing. Kingston, Rockwood, back toward Oakdale and Harriman. Yes, we have those stronger storms making their way through the region. And there is the flash flood warning that continues for portions of northern Knox County, as I mentioned. That flash flood warning is in place until 10:30 in the, till 12:30 a.m. The other severe thunderstorm one was 10:30 at night, but 12:30 in the morning, just after midnight, for Granger, Jefferson, Knox, and Union counties, Blaine, Corrington, Luttrell, and New Market, a flash flood warning until just after midnight. So that's what we're looking at as far as around the region. And again, here's a look at the replay over the last couple of hours. These storms are continuing to track in. Now, one of the other factors we're looking at is, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a futurecast first, and then we'll take a wider view. Here's our latest futurecast that we'll go ahead and load for you. So as we go now, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., these strong to possibly severe storms with heavy rainfall. The other primary mode of concern or impacts, in addition to the damage and wind threat, is going to be heavy rainfall and possibility of flooding. And that's what we're looking at. That will take us just past midnight to 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And then thereafter, storms are expected to gradually lessen in intensity once we get toward 4, 5, 6, 7 a.m. So as we work our way towards sunrise Tuesday morning, the storms are expected to lessen as we continuing to make their way to the east across portions of our region. Danielle, if you'll repeat that. Okay, thank you so much. So we'll do a reset for our Fox 43 viewers. We are going to also do a simulcast with WBIR Channel 10. Welcome, Channel 10 viewers. Again, we're keeping you up to date with the latest severe weather coverage. We have a cold front back to our west, strong to severe storms starting popping up between 7 and 8 p.m. this evening, and they have not stopped. They're continuing. We have a tornado warning for Hawkins County and also for Sullivan County, far upper East Tennessee. And for our Channel 10 viewers, this is going to be from Segowinsville to Churchill, headed toward Kingsport, and that's going to continue to track off to the east. So here's the latest radar coverage. You can see the lightning lining up from south of Nashville into East Tennessee. And here's what we're looking at. The yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. The red box is a tornado warning. The one tornado warning we have is moving from Churchill, Segowinsville area toward Fall Branch and Kingsport, from Hawkins County into Sullivan County, far north in Greene County, but it's well north of Greenville. So if you're watching this from much of Greene County, not bad, but heads up, and I'm going to show this in a moment as well. Morristown, Russellville, Bulls Gap, Hawkins County, Hamblin County, and heading toward Mossheim and Mohawk, coming out of Hawkins County and Hamblin into Greene County. Again, that storm packing a punch. White Pine, Dandridge, Newport, Bybee. If I mention your area, also seeing some strong to severe storms. Now, there's another line of storms from Maryville to Pigeon Forge and Sevierville. We are looking at that line of storms that's going to continue to track off to the east. The other warning I do want to mention, there's another warning for Etowah and Tellico Plains, first of all, including McMinn and Monroe counties, and heads up Athens. I don't have a warning on that, but that's an intense storm that could have it's got a lot of lightning and torrential rainfall. It could have damaging winds. So strong storm in Athens. If you're watching this, Riceville, Athens, Inglewood, Nauta in McMinn County, need to be taking cover for much of McMinn County, actually. That's moving east toward Monroe County. So if you're watching this in Sweetwater, Madisonville, Von Orr, maybe near Greenback, and Tellico Plains, you need to be in your safe place, which is away from outer walls and windows. Center part of your sturdy home or business, again, away from windows and outer walls, wait for the storm to pass. More storms are lining up east and west of Crossville on the Cumberland Plateau. I was going to say a moment ago, the other flash flood warning we have in place is for northern sections of Knox County. Again, let me take off that thunderstorm warning, and so we can see the flash flood warning. They're done by priority. And there's a look at the very latest. That's a flash flood warning that will be in place for Corryton and also Knox County, and also for Jefferson and Union and Granger counties until 12:30 a.m. Why? Because storms have repeatedly been moving over the same area over the last 2 to 3 hours. There's a look at the last 3 hours. These storms have continued to track on off to the east. So that's a look at the very latest as far as what we're looking at right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch that is in place until 3 a.m. Again, for just about all of East Tennessee now. That means severe weather is possible in and close to the watch area. Main impact and threat is damage and winds. That's the primary threat for this severe thunderstorm watch. The other threat is, in addition to the damage and wind threat, is heavy rainfall. Could be looking at torrential rainfall and possibility of flooding. So we have a level 2 elevated risk for not only severe storms, but also for some heavy rainfall. Again, main threats, damage and winds, heavy rainfall. Some hail possible, dangerous lightning as well. Now, we don't have any of the warnings right now in the valley, but we do have the stronger storms. You can see that by the lightning. We have the severe thunderstorm warning from McMinn into Monroe counties. Again, it's a strong storm out of Meigs into McMinn counties. So from Nauta to Athens and Inglewood, Riceville, headed towards Sweetwater, that's a strong storm. Morristown, Dandridge, Bybee, north of Newport, but near Dandridge to Bybee, to Russellville, to Bulls Gap. Strong to severe thunderstorms. If you live anywhere near these areas, you need to take cover. If that could have some damage and winds. That's going to head toward Greenville and Mossheim and Mohawk. So be prepared to take cover in your area and from Churchill, Sheboygansville toward Kingsport. This is tornado warning, and again, the National Weather Service in Morristown, which covers all the way up from the Tri-Cities to Chattanooga. So even outside our viewing area, as far as TV viewing area, they cover that area. That's why you're seeing additional tornado warning boxes, even though it's just to our east of our area. Now, further back upstream, less activity on the northern plateau right now, but we do have some of those stronger storms. So again, just a local tour around the area. Tavian Whitehurst in the Weather Center as well. We'll continue to track these storms and kind of go through some of what we're seeing right here. Sheboygansville still seeing a little bit of broad rotation. That's continuing to make its way just off to the east. Coming back down again into the valley, there's the flash flood warning, basically from Norris to Corryton to Jefferson City. And Doppler radar estimating probably over about 2.5 inches of rain right now. Keep in mind, we had thunder showers earlier today. If you go back the last 10 days, at least the last week, of course, a week ago, we know about the damage and winds we had, right? That Monday, that was 7 days ago, a week ago. Well, we've had heavy rainfall, saturated soils, and the trees, the root systems of a lot of trees have been strained. Even if they didn't get blown down, they've been blown around, right? And every time the trees get tilted, those roots get a little strained, kind of like ligaments or muscles or tendons, right? When they get pulled a little bit, they get strained. So the root systems of trees have been getting strained a little bit over the last 7 to 10 days. With the high winds we've had, again, been swaying a lot more, and the rainfall. When you get soppy, soggy soils, the root systems in trees are weakened, especially for those shallow-rooted trees like pine trees and some of those softer woods as well. So that's a factor going on. Even if we don't see severe winds with this system, any wind, unfortunately, any gusty winds could create some downed trees. That's a concern. We'll have to watch that. But heavy rainfall, including that flash flood warning, again, for northern Knox County, Granger, Jefferson, and Union counties till just after midnight, and the communities listed here, Blaine, Corryton, Luttrell, Newmarket. Avoid flooded roadways, as that's what we're looking at right there. Earlier, these are old radar views. We were tracking these storms earlier. Not much hail around the region right now, but the southern areas, again, a lot of moisture in the atmosphere and a lot of rainfall, heavy rain at times, and torrential rain. So flooding is going to be a concern, unfortunately, as we head into the overnight hours, as repeated storms are going to be tracking. Here's a look at our futurecast. We are at 10:13 right now, coming up on 10:15. So this is a model forecast for 10, pretty good handle on it. And at 11 p.m., again, I think it's just updated, so we'll all look at this together. It's hour by hour what we're looking at here from 11 p.m. To midnight. Kind of new wave is going to be coming up. Any of these storms, number one, have heavy rain. Heavy rain's a given. Dew points today were in the upper 70s. That is soupy. That's more like the Gulf Coast, basically. Have dew points in the upper 70s. Whew. Yeah, and that moisture has been transported from Gulf of Mexico northward ahead of a cold front. So heavy rainfall, number one. Number two, some of these could contain some pockets of high winds, damage and wind gusts possible. And again, just because it shows purple here, that doesn't mean it's severe. We're not saying that. But the spirit and what the model's showing is some of these could be strong, possibly severe. And that's midnight, there's 1 a.m. And so again, we're still looking at heavy rainfall, some stronger storms possible. Once we get past that 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., and that severe thunderstorm watch is in place until 3 a.m., but once we get past basically the 2 a.m., let's just say, things are going to be lessening in intensity. But as we move our way towards sunrise Tuesday morning, it looks like we'll have much improved weather conditions. And the rest of our Tuesday into Wednesday, it looks very, very pleasant. Let me jump ahead real quick. These were earlier maps. There's the dew point still in the 70s. I wanted to show you the wider view of what we were looking at, and I'll bring that up for you in just a half second here. Here's what we're looking at around the region. There's the cold front back to our west, as this front is a slow mover. It's not going to move through the region until tomorrow morning. So as this front moves slowly, again, this is what we're looking at. The storm's moving slow enough, so heavy rainfall a concern. And on the leading edge, we're seeing some of these severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, notice, this is around the region. Notice how we're not seeing other severe thunderstorm warnings just ahead of the front right now. Again, we're not seeing a lot of storms in general, actually. So, but we don't have severe thunderstorm warnings to the north. They're mainly tied in on the leading edge, where the atmosphere is most unstable, and that's where the severe thunderstorm watch is also located right now. So we're probably going to be transitioning from a severe weather threat to more of the heavy rainfall threat. But right now, both are happening in concert. damage wind gusts, possible heavy rain threat. It will likely transition to more of a heavy rainfall threat as we go overnight. So there's the storms. They're going to be out of here by early in the morning. And then, yeah, the rest of the week, fantastic. We'll talk more about that in a moment. We're going to reset for right now. Katie, I'll send it back over to you. Again, that tornado warning that was for our upper East Tennessee counties, it's moving out of Hawkins County, out of our viewing area. Elsewhere, you saw the other strong storm. So I'll be back to talk more about that, and we'll bring you the very latest in just a few moments. For right now, Katie, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you so much for keeping us updated. We will probably check back in with Todd throughout the show. All right, right now, those strong storms are moving through East Tennessee, and we want to keep you updated on that as well. And as we get our show reset here, we just want to say thank you again to our whole weather team, our meteorologists that are working super hard to make sure we are safe and take their advice, keep up to date with the app and our website, and stay inside if you can. All right. Let's see.
I get any more, Coach?
All right. We are back to our regularly scheduled programming now. We want to go to breaking news. A grand jury in Georgia has approved 10 indictments in the 2020 election case. And we want to thank you for watching Fox 43 News at 10. The grand jury based in Fulton County is investigating efforts by former President Donald Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 election. At this hour, the defendants in the case have yet to be revealed. The former president, who is running in the 2024 election, has already been indicted in 3 separate cases this year. He denies any wrongdoing in those cases and says they are politically motivated. If you were still cleaning up from that storm and possibly storms moving through right now, homeowners across Knox County have a chance to see yard debris picked up for free. It's a one-time program County Mayor Glenn Jacobs announced today. Limbs and branches littered yards after a couple strong storms in the last week. We've all seen them as we've been driving around. Typically, the county doesn't run regular yard debris pickups like the city does.
With the severity of the storm, we thought there'd be something that people probably, some folks, it's really necessary because they're going to have to be able to get it picked up otherwise.
If the program gets the green light from the county commission, it will run for 2 weeks. Right now, deputies in Sevier County are looking for the man on your screen. They say 55-year-old John Hancock was last seen yesterday afternoon.
Thanks for coming in, David.
Oh yeah, so that's John at Warning, I figured.
We just got rocking and rolling. I mean, the tornado warning, I never saw tight. I just saw.
Asking you to live somewhere and telling me that we were on the regular channel
Yeah.